The Cornbread Joe Project. Feature Cornbread Joe as the big fat guy.
Last week I made this tomato soup and I decided I wanted to use the leftovers and try and make a lasagna. So I'm using beef chuck, eggplant, mozzarella, and low-fat ricotta cheese. For the meat, pretty simple. I'm just going to cube this up, season it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then throw it on the smoker to get some color. For the eggplant, I'm just going very simple, olive oil and salt. Just like the steak, I'm going to throw that on the smoker as well, just to get some nice color and flavor on it. Here's the meat. It's on the smoker. I wanted to enhance my sauce a little bit, so I decided to add some tomatoes, tomato paste, garlic, and onions to it. You can call this garlic and onions Samwise Gamgee, because it begged me not to turn it into anything unnatural. And I thought of a better use for them, which you'll see later on, but I just sauteed these down, cooked them up a bit, and decided I wanted to use it for something different, so I took them out before I continued cooking the sauce anymore. I still went in with tomato paste and used that to deglaze the pan a little bit before I added in the tomatoes. After those had warmed up and cooked down a little bit, I took a smasher. This is just a mashed potato smasher, multi-purpose machine, and crushed them up till it was nice and smooth. I still wanted a little chunky, little textural. And then I added in the leftover sauce, mixed that up, seasoned it with a bit of salt and Italian seasoning, and just a little bit of balsamic glaze, just to add a little bit of acidity and sweetness. I think that balsamic vinegar is a good addition to any tomato sauce, and I recommend trying it out. If you haven't before, do it now, or maybe not right now, but next time you make a sauce, next time you make it a gravy, add a little balsamic vinegar into it. It's good stuff. With the beef, we're not trying to fully cook it on the smoker. We just wanted to get some of that smoke flavor and a nice bit of color on it. So at this point, it was looking good. So I took it off and went on with my eggplant slices. And again, this is just olive oil and salt. And I'm just putting them on there to cook through and get nice and tender. So I've said this before, but you don't need a smoker to cook these recipes, right? You could have browned this beef in the pan and then cook the sauce in that pan, and that would have been just as good. But I chose to do it on the smoker, and now I'm putting it in the crock pot with those onions and garlic, a little bit of red wine, and beef stock would probably be the right move here, but I had chicken stock, so that's what I used. And yeah, just putting this in there to braise for a couple hours, and since it's a crock pot recipe, you need cream cheese. Just kidding. Don't put cream cheese in this. stick with the meats. And really, this is what makes it good, is just really jamming it in there and leaving way too much footage of you doing so in your video. So yeah, just let this cook for a couple hours till it's nice and tender. This was one of my more time-consuming recipes, just because all of the different pieces kind of required a lot of time to cook, and then once you put them all together, they required even more time to cook. But it was really, really good. What I'm doing is I'm just sort of turning this into a lasagna. I'm just layering it: sauce, eggplant, sauce, ricotta, meat. Goddamn, that meat turned out so good. Oh, doesn't it just look good? Holy smokes. Where was I? Oh, yeah, layering. More sauce, more cheese, more eggplant, more sauce, more meat, more cheese, more sauce, more eggplant, or yeah, cook it.
What's up, y'all? I'm Cornbread Joe, and I'm fat.
Like, really fat. But I'm not as fat as I was 3 months ago when I started this whole thing, and that's what I wanted to talk about today.
So, alright, well, you know what? I got the shot now. It's 30 degrees out, so give me a second. So I know I said that starting out, that I wasn't going to weigh myself and I was just going to, quote unquote, go off vibes, just how I was feeling. And then a couple weeks in, about a month in, I decided I was going to start weighing myself. And I did do that. And I'm never going to tell you the numbers. But I will tell you the loss numbers. I'm down about 15 pounds over the past 3 months. Lucy! So yeah, I'm down about 15 pounds over the past 3 months, but there's also been, then going back to what I said before about not getting tied to the numbers, not getting too caught up in what the exact numbers are, because 15 pounds over 3 months actually realistically isn't that much weight. But it's more about, not just the amount of weight loss, but a change in body composition, if that makes sense. When I started out that first week, I was doing, struggling for 5 to 7 reps on bench at 225, right? And inclining 185 and squatting, same about 185. But as of last week was a deload week, but as of the week before last, which was my heaviest week so far, bench, I hit 325 for 5 on a third set, and 285 for sets of 3 on incline. And, that was a week that squats didn't go well. But the next week, or I guess this, as far as the video goes, this week, which was a deload week, I hit 275 on squat for 4 sets of 4, which is pretty good. But I mean, more than the strength gains and the workout gains, I think what's made me notice is the vibes, right? I feel better. I feel I have more energy. I have more stamina, more positivity. Mentally, I'm not in a place where I'm waking up every morning and that's a lie. I still wake up every morning and dislike myself somewhat, but less so than I previously have been, which is good. I've been in a better mood, more of a positive outlook on life. So yeah, I just want to keep going with that. As far as physically, well, I'll give you an example. So Tina bought me a shirt, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas 2024. Tina got me a shirt that I really like, but I didn't wear it because it was a little too small. Any kind of stretching or raising of the arms would bring it up a little bit, and my gut would hang out in an embarrassing and disgusting way, and so I never wore it. A few weeks ago, I put it on and it fit. I went and I showed Tina and I said, "Hey, check it out." I don't remember exactly what she said, but basically the gist of it was she thought I didn't like the shirt. She thought I hated the shirt, and that's why I never wore it. And so I had to explain to her, no, it's not that I didn't like the shirt. It's that I was a disgusting, overweight blob. It's things like that. Or I bought a jacket like 2 years ago. I bought like a suit jacket that I wore to a couple events, and it used to fit me really well. And I tried it on a couple weeks ago, and it was loose and baggy and didn't fit right. Well, it fits well up here around the chest, but it was loose around the stomach area, which is kind of what I want. I don't mind having a big old titties. So I actually had to, and shout out to Rosemary, my friend Pat's mom, who does sewing and tailoring and stuff. I took it up to her, and she was able to bring it in, and now it's great. But that's again a couple of positive examples of how things are looking up, and it's a renewed motivation, sort of the kick in the butt, the little, oh, this is actually doing something. Which brings me to another point, which is the dangers of complacency, right? Because there are, like, yeah, you see the result, you see positive momentum, and you see gains and changes, and you start to think, oh, this is going well. You know, you could get lax. You could start to get less intense about your workouts and start to get a little slip up here and there, diet wise or workout wise. So I really need to make sure that I'm not doing that. And before you hop in the comments, I want to nip this in the bud. Don't go down there in the comments saying, oh my gosh, congratulations, wow, that's amazing, wow, that's so awesome. Don't do that. I don't respond well to positive reinforcement. Get down there in the comments, tell me, damn, dude, cool, but you still got shit to do, so keep doing it. But also tell me I'm pretty. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about this week. Moving into the next week, I finished. So I would be moving into sort of the peaking part of my program, which is where I'm building up to my 1 rep maxes. But instead of doing that, I think what I'm going to do is talk about this in the next video. So, but yeah, I just wanted to update you guys. I figured 3 months was a good enough place to do it. And again, I appreciate everyone watching. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Well, oh no, actually, shit, I gotta show you the lifts. I think with this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put up some, these are, like I said, this is a deload week, so these are lighter sets than the week before, but I'm gonna put them next to some of the workouts from my first week, try and show a little juxtaposition, as it were. So yeah, cheers.